Not exactly the best time to go out, but I don't have a choice today. Work kept me the whole morning. I didn't get to go out in the woods early, but it's also only 38 degrees at 11 o'clock in the morning. What I saw, if you guys remember from last week, the locals were only going out in the afternoon. This might be a good day. It got cold last night. The cold is what triggers the rut, in whole or in part. So this could work out in my favor. Also, I brought a couple of sets of deer estrus. You guys heard me say last week, the heat, the warm weather has delayed the rut, pushed it down, so that it's going to occur almost only during the rifle hunting season, which sucks. But what I'm going to try to do is, even in just a couple hours from noon until 4:30, I'm going to create my rut. So if you go to a spot, if you go someplace and there isn't a rut, make a rut. It's the only option that I have. And once it's a little bit loud in the Jeep right now. Once I get on site again, I'm not going as deep in the woods. There's no need. I saw lots of activity along the Jeep trail that went into the property in the sandy areas where they could actually paw and get at nuts and acorns. They were. So that's where I'm going to be setting up. But I'm going to be very carefully marking the area with at least 2 trails, maybe 3. 3 trails that start off light and get progressively stronger until they get within 20 meters of my stand, but do not approach my stand. A lot of times you'll see other guys even say this, a rutting deer, a buck, when he puts his head down to the ground, he stays down there and he will follow that trail without even looking up, which means he could end up right underneath your stand if you decide you're going to mark up to the bark. You don't want to do that. So I'll be spraying the bottom of my boots with these little spray bottles. I'll be spraying the wheels of my cart so that even as I roll, it's acting like a drag trail. Instead, it's going to be a rolling trail. How cool is that? Then, when I approach where my stand is going up, oh gosh, I just realized that could come back and really bite me. I thought that would be clever to put it on my wheels, but my wheels are going on the tree, which means he may follow me all the way up to the tree. That would suck. I have to find a way to separate that. I may end up just using my boots. Even my boots are up the tree. You can start to see where this can be a problem. It could end up being with a light coat on my boots, and I'm going to end up carrying a drag stick that I can then drop. So I'll have a string with drippings on the string, and I'll be dragging that behind my stand until I get to my location. Then I take the string off and I throw it someplace so it's not attached to the stand anymore, and that lets me get up in the stand without any scent on the stand itself. Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna do. All right, more in a little bit. So I just entered Oregon, Illinois. It's 11:30 in the morning. I'm going over in my head, what have I got, what have I got, what have I got? I wiggled my toes and I realized I don't have my boots. And as if it can't get any worse, I'm wearing Blaze orange running shoes that can only fit bare feet, because that's how I run my triathlons, my sprint triathlons, and my half marathons. I run in sockless feet. And I'm here for 2 days. I can't go home. Unless I go home tonight, get my boots, come back in the morning. I suppose I could do that. I kind of wanted to spend time here. But let's see. Sometimes the weirdest shit happens when you make a huge blunder like this and still deer show up. That's what hunting's like sometimes. The best precautions in the world, the best planning, and you don't get anything, and then you just come in and wing it with coveralls and some orange shoes, and a deer walks under your stand. I've had weirder things happen, believe me. Like 3 years ago when a deer walked right in front of me because it had been, I told you, he got dinged by a couple of girls going to school, and then it was running through the woods. Just paused and I plugged it. All right, here's Loudon Miller State Park. We're turning in. Okay, here we are, day 5. I'm up in a new tree. Those are my blaze orange shoes. Holy shit. I've got a really good sight path all the way through here. The winds were coming from the other side. Yeah, still seem to be coming from the southwest. So I laid down all of my scent. You don't have to kill yourself, but down there at the 20-meter mark, that tree marks 20 meters. And I laid down a patch there, spray a lot. Take out the second bottle, right down on the grass, like you're the deer and you've just peed your pee right there. Then you take a couple steps back, 2 spritzes, a couple steps back, 1. Same way down here. It looked like there's a little bit of a beaten path. Could be a deer path. I took the chance. I stayed off of the path, but sprayed onto the path. Sprit, sprit, sprit. Sprit, sprit, sprit. So you have a strengthening trail that makes a buck with his nose down. Want to follow that scent. And then, hopefully, he's going to be confused that when he gets right here and right in there, he's going to be smelling 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different scents. So he's going to pause. But he's been coming over that way, and he's going to pause over here. So he's actually broadside to me right there, my sweet spot. At least I put a little thought into it, and that's about it. The wind is at my back. It's cold. It's 38 degrees. Time to turn my heated vest and my heated socks on. Luckily, my heated socks actually fit inside my running shoes. Welcome to hunting, where you do the best you can with what you have. I get to watch all the way out there for signs of a buck coming in, smelling a trail, not quite sure where it's coming from. Time to put my mask on. By the way, I forgot to mention, I've got my dart on, my little teeny 44-inch bow, 50-pound dart on Magnum. God, I love this bow. It's so quiet. It's just deadly. From 10 meters out to 50, out to 60, 70, out to 90. No, it starts to slow down and it shoots short, but for these kind of distances, I feel really confident. So if I blow it, it's me. It's not the bow or the equipment or anything. All right, that's really it. All right, one more tip before I sign off. I wanted to make sure with the scent and everything that I actually improved my chances that I'm not going to get a buck walk under the tree on me. So I deliberately found a tree perfectly straight. But more important, I'm surrounded by thorn bushes all the way around. They go all the way out to see this green out there? Everything out there. Those are all green thorn bushes. Was it fun putting my stand in here? No. But at least you're guaranteed you're not going to get a buck walk under your stand. Even if there's scent on you, because he's going to hit those brambles and he's going to go around, I hope. All right, that's really it. It's about 3:30 and a 6-point buck and a doe just came by. They came in out of that thicket, totally surprised me because they're behind, but then they circled. Wow. A 6-point buck and a doe just came by. One of them came out of that thicket right there. But all I saw was tail because it was completely on my backside. But then they circled around. And suddenly they started coming down this ravine from camera right to left. They were halfway up. Almost a 40-meter shot if they would have stepped into the clear. But that was the doe. And then the buck showed up down this way. They both went up that hill, but if I'm quiet, I think they're going to come back. I I think the buck was interested in the bee. This is the last time you're going to hear me tonight, because I'm going to try to draw them in. Yeah, I hear them out there. He's right up there. Gotta put you down, sorry. I wanted you guys to know why I didn't take the shots. One, the 40-meter shot was through that crap at a doe with her head down. And the buck, the 6-pointer, he was all the way down there. So you can imagine me trying to shoot 70 meters through that tree. That would be hopeless. I've got to wait for him to get a little hornier and come in and come sniff this bee, thinking he's about to collect himself a harem. Anyway, that's why now you know why I didn't shoot. It's coming up on sunset for the very first time. The next 30 minutes are magic, but it's also the toughest time to hunt. Because in the fading light, it's really hard to see. All you can do is hope for motion. But I wanted you to see what it looked like. There's a couple of knuckleheads out here now, too. One guy up at the top of that. One guy up there, knocking blocks together and roughing what sounds like sandpaper. He's got some kind of in-law, some other knucklehead over here that's knocking blocks together as well. I think that's what might have scared the doe over towards me. That's where the parking lot is. About a quarter mile away. Anyway, here goes. I just had a realization of my stupidity. I told you guys earlier that I had orange shoes on and that I didn't think it was a big deal because there's blaze orange on all the hunters out there. Even my feathers are orange. But what I didn't notice, what I suddenly realized why I spooked that doe, it wasn't because I turned around too fast. Look at the bottoms of my shoes. The bottoms of my shoes are fucking white. So as I repositioned my shoes to look at the doe, all she saw was a white tail 8 feet in the air, waving danger, danger, and that's why she took off. When I turned around and faced towards her, then the orange of my shoe is showing. You don't see the white anymore. I can't believe I did that. I'm gonna go home tonight, come back tomorrow. I'm not staying in the area overnight. I gotta go back and get my hunting boots. Anyway, let's see if I can keep my feet covered up for the next 30 minutes until sunset. This is why I want you guys to know why hunting in the last 30 minutes is so tough. Look at my arrowhead. As the light fades, you're going to see that it's harder and harder to even see the head of the arrow, much less put it on a deer that's the same color. Everything kind of blends into this sort of brownish gray. It makes for a really tough shot. I'll end up spending more time trying to put the end of the arrow, not the arrowhead, but the end of the shaft on the deer. It'll be easier to see in the fading light. All right, out of the woods at 5 o'clock, which is right when you have to come out of the woods. Do you see them off right on the edge of the property right there? See them right there? 2. Now you see them, see the tails. This is when they're out. We have the formula. What a total waste of time to be coming out 4 o'clock in the morning trying to set up because they're not moving. They're coming out and screwing around at night. And I picked a good spot this time. It's the one I thought the least of, but it turned out they're hanging out in the fields, so maybe some tall grass. They're sleeping there in the daytime, and then right towards nightfall, right towards sunset, like the last hour, So if sunset's 4:30, then starting at 3:30, they start moving out of the field and into the forest. I thought there was another hunter in there. There was so much noise going on. I thought maybe, excuse me, I thought I'd only seen 2 deer, but I think I actually did see 3. The first one that I saw was, I never saw the sex, never saw a rack, just figured it was a doe because it was skittish. But the next 2 to come by, the buck with the doe, were different. I don't think it was the same set. Surprisingly active, just not surprisingly, pleasantly active. When you see enough deer like that, it makes you want to come back. It makes hunting exciting. It's 37 degrees, so it started to get cold. I've got to go. My shoes didn't do too well. If only I had not been wearing my orange shoes. I'm sure that first one that came in and got spooked by the white bottoms of my shoes, sitting 7 feet up in a ladder, wiggling around like a tail. Ah! I couldn't have seen. I wasn't thinking. Darn. I'll tell myself, I hope it was a doe, because then I wouldn't have gone after it anyways. Haha. Anyway, now my plans have changed. I'm coming back in the afternoon, Thursday, Friday, oh hell, maybe even Saturday and Sunday. Buck fever. I gotta go wrap this up. Time to go get some licorice and some spicy chicken sandwiches to take home. See ya.